Probably that was the reason. Since it was showing on the live server, definitely everything is fine.
Okay, okay.
Yes, but then we'll still see into that.
Yeah, I opened it right now on the lab server, but it's showing.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Salam, can you see my screen? Okay. So today, the last time we treated um what's it called? Semantic elements, right?
yes, the semantic, yeah.
Today we'll be looking into CSS, the styling, cascading style sheet. That's
Yeah.
what we'll be looking into. So let's get started. But then, so far, do you have any question? Is there anyone you are finding difficult to understand?
No, I review all the course and I understand everything very well.
Okay. And on your own,
Yes,
always try to practice personally and try to make a lot of researches on what you've learned so that at
yeah,
least you get to understand them more.
yeah,
Okay,
okay.
so all right. So today we'll be looking into CSS, which is an acronym for Cascading Style Sheet. CSS is a tool in which we use to style our codes. We use it to style our HTML, our code. It gives it a very fine view, very lovely view, very attractive view. We start using colors, fonts, texts, a whole lot of things is under this cascading style sheet. So anyhow you want your website, your application, your whatever you are designing to look, you use your cascading style sheet CSS. It is a styling tool in front-end development. So now we'll start by introducing what CSS is. CSS means cascading style sheets. It is a fundamental technology used to style and lay out web pages. I already explained the style, talking about the background colors, the text colors, and the other ones. Layout web pages, talking about the grid, flex, and a whole lot of it. It allows developers to control the appearance of HTML elements, making websites visually appealing and user-friendly. You already have your HTML properly structured. Now, what do we use to style it in a way that when people bump into our pages, they'll be like, wow, this is lovely. Using lovely colors, lovely text, and lots of it. Now, how do we now get started? We get started by linking it with our HTML first. We have to link both together so that both will, whatever styling you are using, will also take effect on the HTML, on the structure of your HTML. So how do we link these things together? This takes us to this linking. So to link, on the body tag of the HTML, you had a link tag. Now, let's practicalize this. Okay. Header index.html. Okay. So this where we are so far. Where we are so far. So let's open this on the live saver. Live saver. Um, no. So for all these ones, let's comment them out as usual so that okay, we can't even comment it out because this is what we will be styling. This is what we'll be styling. Okay. But then let's okay. So in order to link our CSS with HTML, at first we are going to create, remember we created this index.html file, remember, right?
Yeah.
Fine. So we are also going to create another
Are
file.
you on VS Code? I can see your screen, VS Code.
Yes, I'm on VS Code presently. Can you see my
Yeah.
VS Code?
No, it's the PowerPoint is
Oh,
still showing.
oh. I'm on my VS Code. Um, share screen. So sorry. Screen. Okay, you can see my VS Code now, right?
Yes, it's okay. No.
Okay. So, as I was saying, I said, remember we created this index.html file, right?
Yes.
So for the cascading style sheet, for the CSS also, we are going to create a file. You remember the way we create the file? Are these
Yeah.
our folder name? Okay, so
Yeah,
new file.
I did some exercises. I already familiar with that.
Okay. Oh, that's very good then. So we'll be creating it. We can name it anything. Just make sure it has the suffix
Yeah.
.css.
Yes, yes,
Fine.
yes.
So we can use style.css, we can use index.css, you can use whatever .css you want to use. Okay. So here let's use style.css. So we already created a file for CSS. So now how do we link the CSS with the HTML? That is what we are talking about now, because no matter what you have here, no matter styling you have here, if it is not linked with your HTML, it will not take any effect. It will not take any single effect. So we'll need to okay. 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 So we said to link on body tag of HTML, we need to add a tag called the link tag. The link tag. So now how do we add the link tag? Let's have this copied. So we come to our HTML here at the topmost. At the topmost. I've holding it. So this is the link tag. Once you type the link is going to generate the relative and this href. Okay, so what do we type inside this our relative? We type style sheet. Remember, we are linking CSS cascading style sheets. So anytime, any day, anywhere you want to link your CSS on the HTML file, inside the rel, you have your style sheet. You type your style sheet. You type your style sheet. That means that's the relationship between the index.html and what you are linking. That's the relationship. It's the style sheet. If it is JavaScript also, you have to link it on this your HTML body. It has a separate thing that you have to type inside your relationship for the server to know that okay, what you linked here is a JavaScript. What you link here is a JavaScript. So now inside our href, that is where we have the file we created. Now, how do we now bring in the file we created? Full stop / style.css. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, I see.
Yes. Okay, so that's just the way we link our. Okay, so that's the way we link our CSS inside the HTML body. So we have successfully linked it now. Whatever styling we have inside this our CSS file that we created now will be taking effect here. Okay, moving forward. Do you get how we link it now, or do you have any question
No, no question.
now?
I
We
did
have
some exercises about that.
this are what?
I already did. I have a friend that is developer. He proposed me some exercises to practice.
Okay, okay. So you
Yeah.
already did a lot of practice on this already, right?
Yes, then we can go ahead.
Okay, that's fine then. So now moving forward, CSS basics. We have the selector. Selectors are used to target HTML elements for styling. They are used to target particular HTML for styling. So one, we have element selector like P. Remember the P tag we talked about, paragraph. We can style a P tag on its own. We have class selector under selectors. Now let's practicalize the P, the element selector. Now what is element selector? Like this, if we want to style this H, let me comment this ones. I comment it out before, so um, okay. So I've uncommented them now. So the element selector that we're talking about now is just like styling the H1 or styling the P tag, styling a particular element, a particular element. Now let's say we want to style P tags. Now you will see the importance of adding ID and class to your tags. Let's say we want to style the P tag. If we want to style the P tag, we'll have P tags P. Can you see it? The P tag that we have in our index.html is my name is Mariam. Remember, I am from Nigeria. So now in my style.css, I have my P tag to be color blue. Now
Yes.
on the browser, we have my name is Mariam. I am from Nigeria to be color blue. Now, one thing about why it is not very advisable to be styling your code using the element selector is just imagine if I had a lot of P tags here. Let me see if we have any other P tags here. I think we do, right? Okay, we have what's it, this is my website. Can you see all my
Yes.
p tags? It is a website, a web3 site. Welcome to our website. All the web3, all the p tags, you see, all of them will be carrying this styling of paragraph color blue.
Yes.
Now, what if I don't want all these my other paragraphs to be color blue? It is only this my name is Miriam that I want it to be color blue. I want to see
Wow.
the other ones to have different colors. You see that styling it with elements was it except if that's the only elements selector, like that's the
Yes.
only elements tag that I'm having there. Like I don't have any other p tags. That is when it is advisable you can go ahead and style it. But so far we have different ones with that element tag. Styling it with that element tag is not advisable because I don't want every other ones to have the same styling as this one. That is when the ID and class comes in. That means um this particular one that I want to style. My name is Mariam. Okay. This particular one that I want to style, that is when
Yep.
ID or class comes in. I can now give it an ID. That means an identity of whatever. It can be, let's say it can be anything. Let me say um name, or let me say about me, about me. Now, let me say about me. That's the ID I gave it. Okay. We'll still move on to the styling of that. Now, you understand the element selector, right?
Yes.
I can
Yeah, I
decide
have a
how the
question.
you said what?
Instead of putting ID, we can put class.
Exactly. We can put class. Instead of
Okay.
putting ID, you can put class. Yes, you can put class. So now we go to class selector. While element selector is like styling your p tag, your h1, your h2, your h3 singly. Now, what is class selector? Class selector is like this that I tagged ID. I can make it a class. Now, since you are talking about class, let's do the one of class first. So I can give it a class name of about me,
Okay.
about about me, about me, you. Okay. So about me. So now, if I want to style this, if I want to style this about me now, how do I go about the styling of this about me? How does the server knows that I'm styling a class for a particular paragraph? That is when I will now do this. The first thing to recognize as for styling a class is you have a full stop first, and whatever name you use as your class name, which is the about me. Do you get what I just did now?
Yes.
Let's go to
See.
our this thing. Okay. So we have the full stop. The full stop will come before the class name that you use, before the name. Remember, you are not going to use the element now. It won't be dot, it won't be dot p this time. Okay. It will be dot the class name itself, the class name itself, which is about me, about me. So when we have this, then what do we want to use? Let's say we want to change the background. For background color, you can have it spelled as this, or you just use BG color. Okay. So background color, let's say we want to make our background color to be um to be this brown. Let's go for this brown then. So can you see this?
Yes.
So instead of about me that we did the background color to take effect all,
Do-
all
I can hear you. I can't hear you.
the p tags, just as this element selector did for all the p. Oh, it's network issue. It's network. Oh my goodness. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's
Oh
okay.
my. Okay, I think it's my network.
Okay.
Um. Okay. Sorry, give me a minute. Okay, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's my network that is messing up. Okay, so so um so that's that about using class to specify a particular one you want to style. We can decide to go ahead and give this class name fonts font of, let's say, bold. Like we want the text to be bolder than this. What am I doing? Okay, let's just use ID for the bold, please. So then we move to the ID selector. For the ID selector, for the server to identify that yes, we are styling ID, that is when we use the hash. For the class, it was full stop, right? Now for the
Yes.
class, we'll be using hash. Now let's give one of it an ID. ID of which one? Okay, let's say this. Um, let's say this H3 ID. Let's say ID of, let's say, name of text, or let's say website, web, or whatsoever. Let's say web. So we already give this an ID of web, and in our styling, so we'll have the first thing on the what's it called, hashtag. Very, very important. So we can now have our web. So now, what are we styling? Let's say want it to be bolder. Want it to be bolder. So give it the font size of, let's say, X large. Can you see it?
Yes.
Can you see it? So
Yeah,
it
I see.
was tiny, more than this before. But after we gave it a font size of this, it took effect, and it will be the only one that this will be effective on, because we have given it a specific ID, which means we are styling this specifically. So no other one will be taking this styling. So that's one of the advantage of using using what's it called, class selector, ID selector. So can you spot the difference between the three we have explained so far? This element selector,
Yes.
Fine. Okay, now we'll be going into group selector. Group selector is like styling. For instance, let's say this H1, H2, H3, H4 that we use. If we want to style everything, we want it to take the same styling. You know, had it been, it is a P tag, like the P tag that we earlier styled. Now, if we want to style all the P tags to have the same styling, that one is easy and straightforward. We just have our P. So all the P tags on that code, on that HTML will be taking effect. But in this situation now, they are not the same, right? H1 is different from H2, while H2 is different from H3, H4, H5, H6. So how do we give this the same styling? How do we give this the same styling? One of the ways we can give it the same styling is by using the group selector. The group selector. Now, how do we use the group selector? All the ones you want to style. Maybe you want to style the H1, you put a comma. Okay? You want to style the H2, we put a comma. And want to style the H5. Let's say these are the five ones that we want to style. Now, what styling do we want to give it? Let's say we want to give them a background color. We want to give them a background color of, let's say, red. Red. Can you see it? We've given it a background color of red. So everyone, all the ones that has H1, H2, remember, let's go to our HTML and see those ones. You can see we have H1, H2, H5 here. If we go under now, we have another H1, which is for form, right?
Yes.
Going down again, we have another one, H1, which you have the HTML table. Going down again, we have another one, H1 for video. We have all the ones that have H1, H2, see H2 here. We have H2 for home here. We have another H. So all the ones with that tag that we styled here using the group selector, H1, H2, H5, they all we have this effect of, you can see, they will all have this effect of background color of red. Do you understand?
Yes. Very
Okay,
well.
fine. Okay. Okay. So now we'll be going to the last one, which is the attribute selector. Attribute selector. Now, what is attribute selector? Attribute selector is like, let's go to our form. We already talked about form, right? So now let's go to our form. Something you attributed to a particular tag. An example of an attribute tag is the input, just as we have, is the input. You know, this input is attributed to this label, right?
Yes.
Is attributed, fine. So, sorry, give me a minute. I want to check this minute. Okay. So sorry about that. So moving forward. So this input, sorry, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So this input is like an attribute to this label.
Okay.
Now we have input. Now, which of the inputs do we want to style? Remember, we have, okay, let's go to index.html. We have different types, right? Different types. For these names, we have them in text. The types, we have them in text, right?
Yes.
Now, for this our email, we have the type to be email, remember? So we have different types in this our form. For this
Yes.
password now, the type is password. So now let's say the one we want to style is only the one with text, right? The type
Yes.
is text. That means it is not going to take effect on the email, on the password, and which one do we have a different one? On the message. Okay, yeah. So it's not going to take effect on every other ones that we have here because we already specified that the one we want to style is the type. Now we'll specify here the type. Text. So we are styling a text. So what are we styling? What exactly do we want the text to be? Now we want to change the border. Remember, let's go to form. What's the border we have? We have the border here already. Yeah. Let's say we want the border to be thicker. We want the border to be thicker. So let's say the border of 3. We've given it border of 3. My network is very bad today. Sorry. 3 pixel. Let me check our HTML. Do we have any styling here before? Fonts. Type texts and border. Okay, supposed to take effect. Let's give it a color then. Okay, so solid solid red. Okay, I don't want pixel is too much. Let's use 1 pixel instead of 3 pixel. My network is still on. My network is still on. This is not it's not taking effect here. Well, we'll come to this. We'll come to this. I don't know why it's not showing effect here. Okay, let me just copy this and see. Yeah, the one that is not typing something well. Okay, I think I typed something bad because this one took effect. Okay, so I think I typed something. Okay, I spelled the border incorrectly, I think. So this is what I was doing the other time. So
Okay.
we have the ones for text, which is the first name, surname, and which other one? We have 3 like that. Okay, we have first name, last name, and okay, those are the ones that we have for text. So that is why this is taking effect. You can see every other ones now they are not taking effect. If we want, we can decide to style the one for email. You can decide to style the one for email to have separate border color. Paste. Let's say email. All you just have to do is inside this your type. The way you have your type in the HTML, you just input the type also, that okay, this is the type you are styling. In this situation now, we are styling the email. We want it to have a blue border. You can see the email has a blue border. We can decide to also style the password to have the password type. We use pwd, right? So it needs to be exactly the same name you gave it in your HTML, so that the server will be able to connect and recommend that okay, this is the one you are styling. So for the password now, we can decide to give it, let's say, brown color. Let's confirm, is it pwd we use for our type? Yes, pwd input. Okay, sorry, the type is password. Can you see what I'm saying now? Because the
Yes, I
type we
see.
use there was password. Now we have pwd there. That's why it is not taking effect.
Yes,
We need to change it to the exact type, the name we gave it in the HTML, the password. You can see they have brown color. So that's
yes,
attributes styling, because all these, they are attributes. All these types, the type, they are attributes. Okay, so whatever attribute, whatever type name you have inside there, whatever type you gave it, it is even either it is text, email, or whatever. Once you specify here, it is going to style that exactly, and not every other ones. Now, can we move forward?
yes. You can.
Now, so we are done with selectors. I want to believe you understand the selectors now, right?
Yeah, very well.
Now, if I should ask you a question now, of the selectors, which one is the best way to style? Is it the element tag, the class selector, the ID, group, attribute selector?
I,
Can
I
list
I
them if they
prefer
are more than
using
one.
I prefer using class selector. So,
Very good. So those are the ones that are very, very advisable, and they are commonly and mostly used. The class selector, the ID selector, and
yeah.
the attribute selector if you want your forms to have a different styling, which is not really in use. But you see, this class selector and ID selector, they are mostly used. Okay, so now moving forward,
Okay.
we'll go to properties. Properties are another basic way we can use to style. So it says CSS properties define how elements appear. Some common properties include color and background. This is telling us those things we can style, those things we can use, those tools we can use to style our HTML. The first one is color and background. Remember, we also played with color and background in this what's it called? We played with the background, right? Giving this about me. This, my name is Mariam, a background color, right? We also played with color, giving the p tags a color. So those are one of the CSS properties we can use to style. Okay, they are called CSS properties.
Okay.
We have the color and background. We have the text formatting, like the H3 that we give a text color of large, right?
Yes.
X large rather. Fine. So those are one of the properties you can use to style in your CSS. We also have unit. Remember the other time that we were styling this border that I have just three here, that I put just three here. If we have just
Yeah.
one here, one, it doesn't know what you are saying. You have not, specified which what's it called, which unit you are talking about. You still talk about unit in full. We have a note on units, so let's just briefly talk about it now. We have different units in CSS that you can use to style. We have the pixel, that's the px. We have cm, we have centimeter. Those ones are absolute units. We have relative units also. They are percentage, em, rem, v, what's it called, sorry, view width, or what do we call it? My goodness. So we have the VW and the VH as a unit. The one that is commonly used, not commonly used actually, but it is usually advisable to use the relative units because they always ease your work when you are making it responsive. Okay, when you want to make it responsive on screen, on mobile screen or desktop screen or laptop screen, like either smaller screen or whatever screen, all these relative units, they make it easy. You won't have to keep styling and giving them, they make it quite easy to be responsive rather than using this absolute unit. But notwithstanding, this pixel is also mostly used. Okay, is also mostly used. So these are the
Okay.
units you can use. These are the units you can use to style whatever you want to style. The units,
Okay.
these are units that are commonly used. So we have a note on it. So we'll definitely talk about the notes. So moving forward, box modeling. Okay, so we have box modeling. Remember, when we were talking about what a CSS is, we talked about the layout also, that it is used to style and layout web pages. So now talking about the layout, we have box modeling and positioning. One of it is CSS box model. Now, the box model consists of content, padding, border, and margin. Now, let's take it one after the other. Content. What are content? Before we check the notes, let's just be using our layman language to explain it. Content are all these things you have here. This is about me, item 7. These are contents in the web page, right? These
Yes.
are our contents. Fine. So that's content. It says the actual content inside the element. So all these, they are our element, they are our content. Now we have padding. Now what is padding? Padding means space around the content inside the border. Space around the content inside the border. Okay, because we did not give this any border now. So let's use a particular content. Now we have, okay, let's use this. Now we have this listing on ordered list and the ordered list. Which one is the padding? It says space around the content inside the border. This is a border. The space around it, around this particular 1, 2, 3 that we have here, the space around it is the padding. While the space between the first, this one above, this one is a separate content now. This
Yeah.
one here with the bulletin is another
Margin.
separate one. So this space around them, this space here is the margin.
Margin. Yeah.
That's the space outside it. Now let's talk about this one. We have the H1, H2, H3, which we give the space. This H1 now, the space here, and the space beside, they are the padding. But the space between this first one and this second one now is the margin. If we give it a margin number now, you will see this one will be moving down. This one, it will be creating more space. That's space outside the border. This is a border now. You can see, because we gave this a background color, we can see the border, right? We can see it. You can even decide to give this background of red a border, another separate border color. You will see the edges. All these edges now, they will be having different color. Okay, so that's a separate border now. So the space between these two is the margin. So now if you want to space this one and this one, you feel okay, this one is too far away from this, or this one is too close to this, what will you be styling in your CSS? You will be styling the margin. Okay,
Yes.
but if we are to style this one with red background, this is a subheading. If you want to style it, maybe we felt we just want to give it a styling whereby the text will not be close together. Like we want the text to spread, to spread, like creating space between each of the letters, like T, create space, H, create space, I. That is when we will now give it a padding. Okay, it's not going to strengthen it, it's going to stretch it rather, right? So can you see the
Yes.
difference between padding and margin now? Padding, you are
Yeah.
styling around the content, but margin, you are styling outside the
Outside.
border, separating
Yes.
the elements. Fine. So now we have the border, a line surrounding the padding and content, just as I've explained here. Our border here is these edges. Now, let's give this another border color so that you understand what I'm saying. Which one do we give a background color? The H1, H2, right? So let's say we are giving the H1, H2, H5 a of border of one cell. So let's say we are giving it a black color, black, right? Can you see it? Can you see the
Yeah.
edges are having black? You can see it, right?
Yeah. I see.
Fine. So that's the what's it called? That's border. That's borderline. That's border. We can decide to give these ones that we give this border of you can see, okay, sorry, like these ones we give them a different border color. Now that they have a different border color, we can decide to give them a background color also. Just like this form, it has a background of red and a border
Yeah.
color of black. Now this one they have border color of red. We can decide to give them a background of black. Okay, so do you understand what it means by border now?
Yes. Clearly.
Okay, fine. So those are CXS box model. So those are the box model and how we can style them, how we can go about them. For the content, we can decide to give the content a different color, a font size, whatever styling we want to give them. Now, going to the next one, which is positioning. Let me broaden my, okay. So positioning, we have CSS provides different positioning method. We have one, we have static. We have two, we have relative. The static, they are default positioning. Either you give it a styling of static, or all what we have here, they are already in static. That's why it says default position. Okay, default position. They're already in static positioning. So the next one we have relative. They are positioned relative to itself. The third one we have absolute, positioned relative to its nearest positioned ancestors. We have fixed, position relative to the viewport. Okay, sorry, that's what I was trying to remember. This VW is called viewport width. Where is it? Viewport width. And this VH,
Okay.
we have viewport height. Yes, I was trying to remember the other time. So it says position relative to the viewport, whatever viewport you gave it. Maybe it's a viewport of width or whatever. So and the fifth one we have sticky. It switches between relative and fixed based on scroll positioning. We'll still come into this. It's not something we can rush like that. So we'll still come into this and you understand what they mean by the static, relative, absolute, fixed,
Y-
and
Yes.
sticky. Okay, you're already familiar with it.
Yeah. I already use it.
Oh,
After the
that's
call,
that's very
I have exercise that I do. I will send you to see.
okay. That's very good then. That's very, very good. So we have the flex box and grid layout. For the flex box, you have to be very attentive here. Okay, it
Okay.
is the flex box and the grid. How do I explain? I don't have any tabs open on my browser. Do I have any tab open? Let me see if I have anything flexible. I'm not sure. Let's just continue. You understand by God's grace. So Flexbox, it says Flexbox is used for one-dimensional layout, making alignment easier. One-dimensional layout, making alignment easier. Now we say one, container properties, and we have two, item properties. Now what are container properties? Container properties, you have the name display. Display, you give the display a flex layout. You give the display a flex layout. That means you are telling the browser that, okay, this particular one, you want it to appear in flex. In flex. Now, what is flex? Let me hold in this if you can. I know you know what flex is, but you can we use this? Yes. See these ones now. These partners that we have here.
Yeah.
Can you see the way they are displayed? They are displayed in
Yes.
flex. So instead of me trying to style this one separately, I'll style this one, giving it this one, giving it an height, a width, a smaller shade and all. To make it easier, just give them flex, and you give them a flex direction also. What is flex direction? Do you want them to be in horizontal manner or row manner? That means horizontal and vertical. So we have the flex row and flex column. Now let us rush. Let's just continue. So now we say display of flex. Let me see the one we can give a display of flex here. Let's say we have, okay, let's try to import more images here. This HTML introduces semantic elements. Okay, before the semantic elements, um, Peter, where is it? Video. Okay, how to improve. This is my website. Okay, I want us to import another image. Okay, let me just copy this and you can use it. Copy, paste. Okay, so you can see we have two images here, right? Oh my
Yes.
goodness, battery is low. We have two images here. So now what is flex? You can decide to give these to position this image to be beside each other, right?
Yes.
You can decide to make this image to be beside each other. That is when this flex comes in. That is when the flex comes in. So how do we style this? To style this now, remember I want to style these two together. So we are going to give it a div, right? Do you know what a div is?
Yes, I
Or
know.
a section? Fine. Remember we also talked about section, right?
Yeah. It will
So
group
let's
many,
say just
many,
section
many,
then.
many elements in one space.
Bless you. Exactly. So let's give it a section. We already talked about section. So we'll paste this here. The images are already in a section. So now inside this, since we are starting these two, now remember, so now we are going to now give this section either a class name or an ID. Remember, so whatever ID or class name we are giving this, it will be taking effect on these two images because they are the two early contents that are inside the section, right?
Yeah.
Fine. So let's say we are giving it a class name, a class of IMG images, right?
Yes.
So Fine. If we want to style this class name of IMG now, the styling will be different from if we want to style this IMG. Remember, if we want to style this IMG, we are going to have a dot in front of it, isn't it?
Yes.
Fine. But if we want to style this IMG now element, we are not going to put dot. We will just use IMG, just like the P tag that we styled there earlier. So that is how you are telling the server the one you are styling. So you can still decide to style this IMG tag for this one, or style this class of IMG, which will take effect on the two. So
Okay.
now let's style the IMG, the class of IMG. My battery is low. I'm very sorry. Let's just do something before it goes off. So we have .img, right? So we have .img, and we are giving it a display of flex. Can you see what I'm saying now?
Yes, I see.
Very easy and straightforward. Instead of writing plenty code just because we want to position these two images beside each other, you can see we already have .img because we already positioned these two images. We already give them a section, and the section we gave it a class, so that when we are styling, the server is going to know that okay, these are the two ones we are styling. So we gave it a display of flex, straightforward. Once you type it, the images is going to appear in beside each other. So we have justify content. This justify content now, we are going to use it for text and see what justify content is. Let's see the one we can use. Okay, let's use this how to improve web performance. Now let's go to what we have, how to improve web performance. Where is it? Okay, so this h2, remember we can't style h2 because if we style this h2 of how to improve web performance, now it is going to take effect on all the h2 that we have here, remember, right?
Yes.
So what are we going to do? We are going to give this particular h2 that we have to want to style a class name or an id. So let's say we
Yes.
are giving it a class of what, let's say we are giving it a class of performance, right? So when we come to these styling, all we have to do is just come down. Remember, dots must be there. So we have performance. To make this easier so that you won't be making mistake, it's just better to copy it. Whatever name we have here, we just come here, copy and paste. Sure you understand? So that it's not
Yeah.
as if we typing something else. So just come here, copy it, and you paste it here. Let me
Yes.
paste
Yeah.
to be sure that the headings are the same. So we have these parentheses, and what do we want to start? We say justify content. Um, oh, Absalam, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I
Very
hear
sorry,
you.
my system went off. This is
Uh,
me. This is my phone I'm using now. But then, can we reschedule the class for later today or tomorrow? Which one will you prefer?
No,
So that when I'm
no. Place it in your own. I'm always available.
okay, but the thing is, probably when there is light today, maybe we can have it later in the day. But how will I now be able to reach you that we should come online? That's another thing.
I can drop my WhatsApp number in this group.
Okay. That's good. There, that's good. That's good. Or maybe I'll just reach out to Mr. Raphael too, so
Okay.
that he can help me reach out to you. All right. Thank you very much. I'll
Thank you.
drop the video of this one that just ended now. I'll drop it in the group.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Thank you for your understanding.